Hi, I'm Louis Hubgwalks, and I'm your church coach. One of my primary roles as a church coach is to lead local congregations through one of our vitality processes, the most comprehensive being our Discovery Weekend. Now, the Discovery Weekend is a fair bit more than just a weekend, so let me explain. A month before the scheduled dates of the Discovery Weekend, the local church leadership will take a church health analysis. Then during the weekend days, we'll have confidential interviews with the staff, board, key volunteers, and a cross-section of the church as a whole. Then working with the senior pastor, a custom prescription to remobilize the church is generated. On Saturday morning, the entire church leadership team will undergo a day of intensive training that directly connects to the areas identified in the prescription. Then finally, upon the senior pastor's approval, the report will be presented to the entire congregation with a chance over the next 2 weeks to ask questions, voice concerns, and then determine whether they're going to implement the plan and move forward. Now here's the key. If the pastor, board, and congregation are in favor of the prescription, the lead pastor will then receive a full year's worth of one-on-one coaching with the church coach to help him implement the plan. The Discovery Weekend is our most comprehensive vitality process. Now you may ask why. Why go through all that's involved in the process of a Discovery Weekend? Well, one of the reasons is that the process has been proven through hundreds of churches to bring growth, health, and vitality to churches that have plateaued or been in decline. Another reason is that a Discovery Weekend creates this incredible unity and vision and momentum in an unprecedented way for a local congregation. Another reason to undergo the process of a Discovery Weekend is simply because you're blind to what you're blind to. Church growth statistics tell us that 80% of pastors can lead a church to health, vitality, and growth only if they have help from an outside set of eyes or a coach. Then author and church consultant Thomas Rainer tells us that 90% of churches in North America need to go through some type of vitality process in order to help them to move forward in fulfilling the Great Commission. Why do so many of us as pastors need help to lead our churches into vitality, health, and growth, and to move our congregations forward in fulfilling the Great Commission? Because we're blind to what we're blind to. This isn't a condemnation, this is just a reality. One of my sons is colorblind. He's a great kid, he's a fun kid. Does his color blindness cause me as his father to love him any less? And the answer is obviously not. Does his color blindness make him any less valuable as a person or valuable as my son? And again, the answer is no. His color blindness simply does not allow him to distinguish certain colors that are obviously different to those of us who are not colorblind. Asking him to bring me a brown marker from the shelf or to paint his bedroom green is simply setting him up for failure. Now, as a family, we play board games. And there's one game my son always wins, and there's another game that he always loses. The one he always wins, the components are differentiated by symbols. The one he always loses, the components are differentiated by color. Now that makes sense, right? He can't distinguish the colors because he's colorblind to their differences, so therefore he keeps putting the wrong pieces on the wrong spot on the game board, and therefore he never wins. Well, he never used to win. That was until he asked one of his siblings for help, one of his siblings who's not colorblind. Just that little outside perspective from someone who's not blind to the same things that he's blind to allowed him to move from never winning to almost never losing. We are blind to what we are blind to. The Discovery Weekend process. It allows someone who isn't blind to what you're blind to, an outside set of eyes, to come in, look at your church, affirm the areas that you're doing incredibly well in, highlight the areas that you need help in, and then you get to receive help in those areas. 80% of pastors can lead a church to vitality, health, and growth if they have help. And that's why I'm here. I'm here to help. So I want to encourage you to book your Discovery Weekend today.